Only once when Clover had a cold did they ask Ashima if she could ever check on them. Ashima remembers their apartment with a biting horror. Just beyond the ceiling, yet so different from her own, piles everywhere. Piles of books and papers, piles of dirty plates on the kitchen counter, ashtrays the size of serving plates heaped with crushed out cigarettes. The girls slept together on a bed piled with clothes, sitting momentarily on the edge of Alan and Judy's mattress. She had cried out, falling clumsily backwards, started to discover that it was filled with water. Instead of cereal and tea bags, there were whiskey and wine bottles on top of the refrigerator, most of them nearly empty. Just standing there had made Ashima feel drunk. Hello everyone, my name is Lahiri, and today we're going to be talking about The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. She was born July 11th, 1967 in London, and she published this book in 2003. And the reason why I chose the quote in the beginning is because of the fact that one of the main characters, Ashima, she felt such a strong culture shock because she went from a clean house, which is what she is usually accustomed to somewhere where liquor is exposed to the kids, where the kids are exposed to this big mess, and it's way too much for her to handle, actually. This book examines the life of Ashok and Ashima, two newlyweds that immigrate to the United States from India. Ashok is studying in college in Massachusetts, while Ashima is beginning to get accustomed to the culture of America when she has her son, Gogol. The story begins with how Gogol is born and how his name is chosen. Now, in the Bengali culture, the grandparents of the newlyweds are supposed to choose the name, but Ashima's grandmother is very, very sick at the time when Gogol is born. And because in America you have to have a name ready before you leave the hospital, Ashok, his father, decides to put him the name Gogol, which has a very big significance for Ashok personally. And throughout the book, it examines how Gogol is trying to adapt to both the Bengali culture and the American culture at the same time, including in his love life when he begins to date American girls, which are against his parents' wishes, and how he chooses more of the American side than staying true to his culture. Now, as a child of Salvadorian immigrants, I know what it is like to balance out two opposing forces in the same country. I know what it is like to speak both English and Spanish and Spanglish in the same house. So this book really hits home for me in describing what another immigrant from another country has to go through when his son is leaning more to the Americanized culture for his second generation of his family. I highly recommend this to students or kids that have parents from another country or grandparents from another country and who balance the same amount of culture in their lives. I also recommend this to people who are interested in how other cultures work and how other cultures interact with each other when dealing with the same culture shock. The Namesake has also been made into a film if you guys want to check it out. I hope you guys enjoy this book, and thank you for listening.